What's up, pups? What's up, guys? Woohoo, doggy! Y'all, look at this. This is real.
Okay, here we go.
Yep.
Dave will make a small initial
This is
risk.
basically a replica Neil Peart kit right here
Just enough to hold on.
that a buddy of mine had made. Look at this. I mean, holy cow. Little drum footage. Yes. Hey, go ahead. That was good.
Yeah, just.
This has got to be the most fun drum set ever. Okay, welcome back to the Fish Cave, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the little tribute to Neil Peart. Like I said, my buddy has a $20,000. I mean, that was a $20,000 drum set. He had Drum Workshop make almost an exact replica of the 30th anniversary tour drum set that Neil played back in 2004. It's probably the coolest drum set I've ever been around, bar none. In any event, let's go back to skin pouring. So I did like an introductory video to skin pouring, and the video did really well. Thank you to everyone who watched it and gave it such positive feedback. But there's a lot more you can do with skin pouring. Just well, more than you can do. Not just a big two-piece open pour swim bait. You can skin pour essentially any mold, really. So we're going to be skin pouring some injection molds. You'll see I have the Angling AI Core Shot mold here. You wouldn't necessarily think to hand pour a skin layer in a little worm like that, but that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to show you how to make a really cool effect with it. It's very tedious. You're not going to want to make 100 of these, but if you're just wanting to push your creativity, this is a good way to do it. So we're actually going to do a few different injection molds with the skin pour method. Then we're going to skin pour some of those swim baits again. Okay, so we're going to do like a 2-color skin. So it's going to be one color, then another color, and it's going to kind of stagger, alternate up and down the cavity of the worm. So one side is going to be a green base. So I have some emerald green. And again, these are the cores, the shells of the bait that we are doing this effect with. So you don't want it too thick because you want to be able to see through the shell. Okay, and then the other side is going to be black grape base. Okay, so just a few drops of black grape. Again, don't want either one of these too opaque. Translucency is key when doing this, or shooting any shell color for that matter. So if you want to learn more about the core shot mold, I do have several videos on it. Okay, so basically what we're going to be doing here is kind of towards the tip there, we're just going to kind of pour a little bit of that green in. Just kind of let it run down a little bit. Then we're going to pour a little bit of the purple. Okay. Let it run down a little bit. Then back to the green. Okay. Let it run down a little bit. You don't want to fill this half up because you still have to have room for the rod. So there's our purple layer. And back to some green. Let it run down a smidge. And then our purple. Okay, and now we are ready to close the mold. Everything's all cleaned up here. So, very carefully. Alright. Now we're going to want to really shut this tight, because that plastic is going to want to kind of prevent the rods from being perfectly in place, but we have a good seal on the mold. Alright. And now we just need a color to shoot our the remainder of the shells with. Okay, so now we're going to mix up the other half, so to speak, of the shell color. This is actually the color of those DW drums that we played last night. Black with little hologram flake. So here we go. Alright. Let's fill in those shells. And I'm shooting this incredibly hot. And I want to hold a lot of pressure because I want this stuff to bond with the other part, or well, excuse me, the other half of the shell. Alright. So we're just going to hold lots of pressure here. Well, not a lot of pressure. We're holding long pressure. 10 seconds or more. You just want to keep some pressure on the injector. Really kind of forces the issue. Alrighty. So we should have some really awesome shells come out of this. Okay, so now we have our shells loaded into the mold. Okay. Looking good. And now we're going to close the mold and get ready to finish these out by shooting the cores. We're going to shoot a bright chartreuse core. I'm just a firm believer in shooting a very bright color for the core. That way you can see it. A nice, bright, contrasting color. So, coming up next. Alright everybody, here's our core plastic. It is hot. About 380 degrees, which is kind of what you want when doing the cores. You really want that plastic hot. You want to shoot it and hold lots of pressure. Because you don't want to spend all that time making those shells to then have some of the cores not fill. So to better your chances of all of the cores filling, make sure both ends of the shell are free and open. Sometimes the plastic wants to stick to itself, which can kind of clog up the opening. And then when your core plastic, you want to shoot that as hot as possible without scorching it and hold lots of pressure on the mold. So I tempt that at about 380 degrees, and that should work, unless something just went wrong. Those are what I have found to be the best steps for success. Clear out your shells, shoot the core as hot as possible. Okay, let's find out together if these worked. Everybody, keep your fingers crossed. Come on. Yes, they did. Sweet. Yeah, look at that. You can kind of see, the green, the purple, the green, the purple. Let's go ahead and get them out. Yeah, and here's a little bit better, closer look. So you can see I actually could have gone thicker on my shell because the distinction between the purple side and the green side isn't there as much as I wanted it to be. So if I was going to do these again, I would thicken up the purple portion of the shell and just hopefully get a little more contrast. So But you know, you got your purple green, purple green, purple green. So yep, you can of course take that to the extreme if that's not extreme enough, but definitely a cool way to make some cool worms. Okay, next up is the Angling AI Bloodline swim bait. We have some clear bloodlines with hologram flake matched up with hologram flake eyes that are already set in. Now, instead of having to dab these eyes with an adhesive to get them to stick to the mold, we're basically going to skin pour over the eye and over the line, which is going to seal those in. It's going to bond them to the bait, and then we just inject over it, and you have a really great skin poured effect with the lines and the eyeballs already there. Okay, so we're going to skin pour these with some beautiful color shift, okay? Let me see if I can get it to focus on that. Yeah. Beautiful color shift. Alright, so just like we would with the big hand pour swim bait, we're literally just going to pour into this cavity here. Particularly down in that nose. We really want to seal that eye in really well. Okay? And there you go. You have a skin poured bloodline swim bait. This is an injection mold. Okay, so it's not just hand pour molds that you can do these types of tricks with. And one of the coolest things is that now that bloodline and those eyes, particularly the eyes, are sealed in. We didn't have to dab them with glue. There's no chance of it falling out. Now that that plastic is set up, you know, I can flip this upside down. Nothing's going to fall out. Nothing's going to become displaced. So anyway, I'm going to skin pour the other side, and then we're going to basically inject the bodies with just a solid white pearl. And yeah, skin poured injection swim baits. Definitely give it a shot. Okay, and here we go with our skin poured bloodlines. Just a nice white pearl with blue highlight. Okay. And these are top injection single port molds right here, these bloodlines. Okay. So there's bait number one. And you want to shoot this really hot as well. Inject it hot, hold pressure. Same concept as we did with the stick worms. You really want this to really seal those skin layers in. And if you were really worried about it, I could actually torch this mold the same way that I torch my hand pours that you see all burn up back there. If you really wanted to melt those together. Injection does a better job at sealing everything up. You know, whenever you're hand pouring, it seems to be a little more important to you know, heat gun things and torch and get things super hot to blend. But those right there are going to come out just fine, just like that. No extra steps needed. Okay, let's find out if these bloodlines worked. Hopefully they did. Yes. Look at that. Look at that, y'all. Let's get this one out over here and bring it on over. Yep. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see if we can get a little closer here. Yeah. Yep. Skin poured bloodlines. So, let's get them all the way out here. Let's get them off the hook slot inserts and off the little sprues there. What do y'all think? A pretty cool way to do it. Pretty cool way to do it. That is a gorgeous bait, and it looks even better whenever you're using something like a color shift, I think. So, yep, there's another idea for your swim bait in injection molds. Skin pour those babies, and if you have the bloodline, it's even cooler because it actually cuts out a little work on setting the eyes. So those right there are going in the bath. Alright, now let's try a frog. This is my custom frog mold. I call it the Florida frog. This was one of the first things I really invested in. So I'm going to pour a little skin layer here on either side of that hook slot. So that might make some neat effects. Okay. Pour a little more there. So I'm thinking that's kind of what I'm going to do on the bottom. Just kind of pour a little ditty there. Swish it around, and then the tops, you know, kind of going to be the same thing. There's only so much you can do with it, but you know, you could pour this splotchy, so like a little patch there and a little patch there. You know, you could even go for one of the tail. You know, just whatever you wanted to do. See, in this one, we'll just kind of skin pour it normally. You know, see which ones maybe look better after they come out. You know, the idea is just to, you know, take some of your hand pour techniques and ideas and some of that thinking and transfer it over to your injection molds. And I think you can get some really cool stuff going. Alright, and now we're going to inject our frogs here. This is like a copper pearl. Some of this stuff in this video is leftover. So, for example, this copper pearl is a remelt, and so was the color shifting skin that we just poured that with. So, holding lots of pressure. Okay, let's see how our Kermits did. Kind of interesting. Yeah, I definitely like what I did on those, just kind of blending it in, kind of like I would a swim bait, than doing the splotch. The splotch would work probably with some different color ideas. So let me just get out these bottom two, because I like those a lot better. Okay. Yeah, and you can see the bottoms are also poured. That bottom right there, I kind of let it run down both legs. So kind of a real natural looking kind of color blend there. You know, and the fade from the skin to the copper is really great. And that's what I love about skin pouring, is the ability to just blend colors in ways that you can't do with just a traditional laminate. So yeah, skin pour frogs. These over here, not so hot on them. Bottoms turned out, but I definitely think those are the winner of the skin pour frog contest. So, you know, there's just another idea, and I would love to see what some of you guys could come up with. And real quick, last but not least, I posted on my Instagram and Facebook the other day a skin pour bait that I had done using this BTS mold, and I called it like Candy Shad or something. I had a lot of people ask me how I did it, so we're going to do it real quick. It's just a bunch of color shift pearls, which you can get on like Etsy or solardust.com. So yeah, we're going to run this one real quick. We're going to basically skin pour it the same way we did the Bloodline, and then we're going to pour the layers from there, and I'm going to shoot through it real quick. Okay, so this is, well, if I can get it, yeah, this is green color shift powder with some, here we go. Yeah, this is green color shift powder with some little hologram flake in it. So again, want to get it up there in the face of the mold, kind of let it drip down real naturally. Fill in that corner right there maybe. Okay, let it go back down. Alright, so there it is. There's a skin pour layer, and I like the randomness of it because it gives it that natural fade. You know, it's not a straight line down the center, because at that point I might as well just shoot laminates. And what's the point of this? But, you know, if you haven't seen my previous skin pour videos, being able to watch the way that plastic flows down like that. I can make it flow down on that side, right? Just those little natural kind of droops there, as I like to call it. Okay, so again, skin pour this one. We're gonna pick up the pace here You know what? You've already seen me do 2 of these. I'm just going to cut the camera and get ready. Alright, so the bottom is this kind of chameleon stuff. It's kind of, well, it's hard to see it there. This is what it is. It's solar dust, chameleon pigment, green, gold, red. Buy it. You will not be disappointed. It is absolutely just the sexiest white pearl color ever, because it's, you know, it has like red and green and gold sheen to it. You know, I don't know if you can see it there, but in person this stuff just blows you away. Absolutely just blows you away with how pretty it is. So, yep. Trying to get it to focus there. Kind of see it color shifting a little bit. And that's not a true color shift pigment. That's a chameleon pigment, so it's not near as expensive. Alright, so we have that bottom layer good and tacked up. Now we're going to use some of the color shift from earlier, and that is going to be our top layer. So this makes, these 3 color shifts make just an incredible palette of colors together. I mean, it literally looks like candy, so hence the name Candy Shad. So anyway, now we're going to do this one over here, then I'll show you what they look like when they come out. Okay, so we went ahead and torched the sides of the molds just to really get them set in. I guess it's going to go that way. So yeah, there you go. Lots of color shift happening there. Yeah, you can see it real well. You can see the way that the skin pour just kind of blends in. Oops, sorry. Yep, that one's going the other way. Yeah, there you go, guys. Yep, that's how I did the color shift Candy Shad. Nothing to it. Just a basic skin pour, and then after that you just pour a laminate. And as long as you have the right powders and pigments, you know, you can make this one like today. Okay, everybody, there is what we did tonight, and boy, do those look good. I mean, golly, the stick worms. You know, I still wish I would have done a little more purple for more contrast, but man, those are sharp. I mean, just look at it up there. You can really see that there's some kind of special stuff going on. And again, it's just skin pouring. I really like the frogs. I actually kind of really like that color combination. It's sort of natural. And then, you know, the Bloodline swim baits and then the big hand pours. You know, I mean, that's the same exact, you know, concept. Just one's injection, one is hand pour. So, you know, basically, like I said earlier, the point of the video is just to kind of broaden your horizon. You know, I'm not the first one to skin pour an injection mold by any means, I'm sure. But if you haven't tried it yet, as you can see, it can work really well with some injection molds. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please shoot me some comments down below. Tell me which ones you like most. Man, I'm kind of all about the Bloodlines and the stick worms. You know, I've seen and done a lot of the skin pours on the hand pours, but I haven't done as much skin pouring with this mold and that mold. So that's kind of what I'm like really excited about, because there's so much more, you know, that I feel like I can do with it, and of course the hand pours as well. So anyway, thank you guys for watching The World's Worst Fishing. I hope you have found this video enjoyable. So we will catch you next time, and thanks for tuning in.